Today, just for any station streaming this live, this is a 5-minute warning. You do not want to take this just yet. This is a mic check for everyone who is here today, and we appreciate you being here for this joint press conference for the Pauline Mullins Pusser case. I am Brandy Hitt. I am with the District Attorney's General Conference, and I just want to give you all a rundown for anyone who is streaming this live or broadcasting during your 11 o'clock newscasts of who will be speaking, the spelling of their names and titles so you know how to properly chyron their lower thirds. District Attorney General Mark Davidson will be speaking first. He is the 25th Judicial District of Tennessee. He is the local district attorney here, and his name is spelled M-A-R-K-D-A-V-I-D-S-O-N. After General Davidson gives his statement, you will be hearing from Director David Roush with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. His name, common spelling for David, D-A-V-I-D, Roush, R-A-U-S-C-H. Following Director Roush's statement, you will hear from Chancellor Dr. Yancey Freeman Sr. He is with the University of Tennessee, Martin. Yancey is spelled Y-A-N-C-Y, Freeman, F-R-E-E-M-A-N. We ask for the media here that you let them give their statements before shouting out any questions. We will be taking a handful of questions after the news conference. Following Chancellor Freeman's statement, we will be playing a video statement from Griffin Mullins. He is the brother of Pauline Mullins Pusser. Griffin spelled G-R-I-F-F-O-N. In playing this statement for you, we ask that you give the family its privacy that it's due. After we play the video statement from Mr. Mullins, we will be taking a handful of questions, as I mentioned. If you are with the media and you have a question, please raise your hand. You will be chosen. State your name and the affiliate you are with, and our representatives here will do the best in answering your questions today. This is being live streamed right now for anybody who is watching and wants to watch on Facebook, on General Davidson's Facebook page, and also on TBI's Facebook page. All the media outlets who are here today, you will see photos and videos. It's okay. You will see photos and videos as part of the presentation in this news conference. For those of you who want clean versions, you can film, obviously, whatever is on the screen. For those of you who want clean versions, come find me, give me your contact information, and I will send you a OneDrive link to where you can download those for your stories throughout the day. Okay? And with that, we are about 1 minute out for any stations taking this live. Yes?
Quick question. What school did you say Dr. Freeman's with?
University of Tennessee at Martin, where you all are here today. This is one of their campuses. He is the chancellor, Dr. Yancey Freeman Sr.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I'm Mark Davidson. I'm the District Attorney General for the 25th Judicial District, comprised of Hardeman, Fayette, McNairy, Lauderdale, and Tipton counties. I want to thank TBI Director Roush and his team, especially ASAC Mike Parson and their investigative partners, for their passion, professionalism, and commitment to the facts. I want to thank our team, Special Counsel Amy Wyrick and Brandy Hitt, Senior Communications Strategist, for their excellent work on this case. and Chancellor Yancey Freeman and his UT Martin team for hosting this press conference and more, which I'll get to. It's been said that the dead cannot cry out for justice. It is the duty of the living to do so. In this case, that duty has been carried out 58 years later. The TBI, then the Tennessee Bureau of Identification, took the lead on this investigation into the 1967 murder of Pauline Mullins Pusser. She was a wife, a mother, and a sister whose life ended violently and unjustly. Her husband, McNairy County Sheriff Buford Pusser, reported that his wife volunteered to ride along in the dark early morning hours on a disturbance call. He claimed that a car pulled alongside his and fired several shots, killing Pauline and injuring him in what he claimed was an ambush intended for him and carried out by unknown assailants. Buford Pusser recovered from his injury. No viable suspects were developed and no charges were filed. This was a cold case for decades, but in 2022, TBI agents took another look at the archive file and coordinated with our office. That work accelerated in 2023, and in 2024, Pauline Mullins Pusser was exhumed for an autopsy. TBI completed their investigative process this year, and the file was forwarded to our office to review. The file is voluminous, over 1,000 pages, and employed modern investigative techniques and forensic science unavailable in 1967. It is thorough and exhaustive, and the scope and breadth of it exceeds our ability to discuss it in detail today. That is one reason we are making this a public record. Another reason is that Buford Pusser's account of the events of August 12, 1967 spawned the movie Walking Tall in 1973, several sequels, a 2004 remake, and several books. This case and those retellings generated substantial public interest and placed Pauline's murder in an historical but inaccurate posture. That history must be measured against the facts in plain view. Justice for Pauline has been a long time coming, and thanks to all the hard work put in by so many, we're finally able to announce to Pauline's surviving family and to the public that we believe we are as close as possible to justice. The case file reveals inconsistencies in Buford Pusser's statements to law enforcement and others about Pauline's murder, including physical, medical, forensic, ballistic, and reenactment evidence that contradicts his version of events. I'll give you several examples. Dr. Michael Revelle, emergency medicine physician and medical examiner, opines with a reasonable degree of medical certainty based on crime scene photographs, post-mortem photographs, the notes of the then medical examiner, Dr. Peeler, the statement of Sheriff Pusser and his then chief deputy, and Sheriff Buford Pusser's own statements that events did not occur as stated by Buford Pusser, and that Pauline Pusser was more likely than not shot outside the vehicle and then placed inside the vehicle. Dr. Revelle opines that cranial trauma suffered by Pauline Pusser depicted in crime scene photographs does not match interior crime scene photographs of the vehicle. Dr. Revelle opines that blood spatter on the hood outside of the vehicle contradicts Buford Pusser's statements. Dr. Revelle opines that the gunshot wound to Buford Pusser's cheek was a close contact wound, not long range, as Buford Pusser described, and likely self-inflicted. Kansas Bureau of Investigation Special Agent in Charge Corey Latham and National Forensic Academy Training Specialist Jason Jones conducted 3 series of bloodstain pattern analysis tests to replicate the bloodstain patterns on the hood of Pusser's vehicle and concluded that the bloodstain patterns were inconsistent with Buford Pusser's statements and indicated that someone was injured both outside and inside the vehicle. Ballistics expert Dr. Eric Warren states in his report that the physical evidence in the case does not support Buford Pusser's version of events and instead is indicative of a staged crime scene. Also, the cartridge locations, bullet trajectories, and bloodstain pattern on the hood are inconsistent with Buford Pusser's statements. The autopsy of Pauline revealed a healing, prior to death nasal fracture on the right side of her nose, most commonly caused by interpersonal trauma. Our office, after review of the case file, believes that the TBI has produced evidence sufficient to create probable cause, meaning more likely than not, that would allow us, if he were alive today, to present an indictment to the McNairy County Grand Jury for their consideration against Buford Pusser for the murder of his wife, Pauline. That obviously cannot happen, but there is probable cause to believe that Pauline's death was not an accident, not an act of chance, but, based on the totality of the TBI investigative file, an act of intimate, deliberate violence. Because the file speaks so strongly with its evidence, and because the case is of such public interest, we invite you to review the case file for yourselves. Were he alive, Buford Pusser would, like all of us, be presumed innocent until proven guilty. TBI investigative files are confidential under state law with very limited exceptions. Thanks to the excellent investigative work by the TBI and the public interest and historical significance of this case, our office, along with the TBI, made the decision to make this file a public record after closure by the TBI. We also made the decision to transfer custody of the file to the University of Tennessee at Martin, which has campus centers in our district and West Tennessee, including Selmer in McNairy County. UTM Chancellor Yancey Freeman and the University of Tennessee at Martin have generously agreed to serve as the long-term custodians of the investigative file. Their commitment to maintaining and preserving the integrity of those records will ensure that future generations, scholars, historians, and citizens alike, will have access to the investigative file for inspection, for study, and for reflection. Our office went through the judicial process needed to get to this point. We recently filed a petition in the Chancery Court of McNairy County to release the TBI investigative file as a public record. Yesterday, Chancellor Bill Cole signed an order granting that request and making the file a public record. The file is in the process of being finalized by TBI and transferred to UTM. This, like the investigation itself, is a methodical and careful process to ensure high-quality access to this case and this investigative work. I understand everyone wants instant access to the file. As you will hear, there is a process in place and a timeline. This case is not about tearing down a legend. It is about giving dignity and closure to Pauline and her family and ensuring that the truth is not buried with time. The truth matters, justice matters. Even 58 years later, Pauline deserves both. And at 10:22 this morning, I got an email from Oakley Dean Baldwin, which said, "Mark, on behalf of the Mullins family members, Griffin, Robert, and Trula Hall, many cousins, and other family members, we thank you for giving Pauline a voice from her grave." I'll now turn over the podium to Director Roush. Thank you.
Thank you as well. My name is David Roush. I am the Director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Sorry about that. Good morning. Thank you, General Davidson, for your leadership and partnership in this very unique case. While this investigation is like none other, at the core, it demonstrates why we exist at the TBI. To provide a thorough investigation focused on the victim and relentless pursuit of the truth. For many, the story of Buford Pusser is part of West Tennessee history. And the shooting death of his wife, Pauline, has long stood as an especially tragic chapter. As the story goes, it was August 12, 1967. Buford, then the sheriff of McNairy County, got a call in the early morning hours about a disturbance on New Hope Road. Pauline went with him. As Buford reported, shortly after they passed New Hope Methodist Church, a car pulled alongside them and fired several times, killing Pauline and injuring Buford. The sheriff spent about 18 days in the hospital and required several surgeries to recover. The case, built largely on Buford's own statement, closed quickly, perhaps too quickly. In May 2022, TBI agents, prompted by lingering questions, worked with General Davidson's office to revisit the archived Pusser case file. That sparked internal discussions and renewed investigative efforts, which accelerated in the spring of 2023, when we received a tip about the possible murder weapon in the case. The work to develop more comprehensive understanding of the facts of the case using the full strength of the Bureau as it exists today has reshaped our understanding of what transpired nearly 60 years ago. The initial investigative efforts into the murder of Pauline Pusser were heavily focused on those who were believed to be enemies of Buford Pusser. The more recent investigative efforts casted a wider net to identify all persons potentially involved and all possible motives. Today, as you've heard, the General has taken steps to make available to the public the full record of this investigation. This is a rare step, but it's one that we support. It provides more transparency and demonstrates the exhaustive nature of our work in an extremely controversial and historic case. From our perspective, there are 5 key developments we've learned as a result of this recent investigative endeavor. Number 1, significant inconsistencies in the statement of Buford Pusser and the physical evidence documented and observed. Number 2, recent statements provided by people associated with this investigation. Number 3, the autopsy of Pauline Pusser. Number 4, evidence examined by TBI personnel. And number 5, the review and studies of experts external to the agency, reviewed from a multidisciplinary approach. Now, we understand that you will have a detailed set of questions about this case. We expect that. The answers are all in the case file. And that's why we'd encourage the media or those in the public with an interest in this case to read the case file in its entirety. As General Davidson indicated, the case file is now a matter of public record. Our redactions are currently in their final stages, and upon completion of those redactions, the file will be formally transferred to UT Martin. At its core, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is a fact-finding agency. We work collaboratively with local agencies, external partners, and district attorneys general to find out what happened to the fullest of our abilities. We want to thank our law enforcement partners, the West Tennessee Regional Forensics Center, experts who are external to this agency, who work tirelessly with our team, and, in particular, the many people who were interviewed in this case, who provided information to our agents that is often very difficult to disclose. We are confident that we have exhausted all investigative leads that are available to the agency at this time, and are also confident that we have provided District Attorney General Davidson with a work product that gives him the answers he felt were much needed to make decisions about the closure of this case, and prosecutorial decisions he would have made if Buford Pusser were alive today. TBI stands united with General Davidson at this time, confident in the thoroughness of this investigation and satisfied the request to close our case file is a just resolution to this code case. In closing, I'm incredibly proud of the work of our team to apply best practices, modern forensics, and investigative prowess to give this case the fresh look that it needed and deserved. This is who we are as an agency. In this case, as in every case in which we have the pleasure of contributing in the search for answers and the pursuit of justice for victims in the state of Tennessee. Thank you.
So good morning. It is great to be here with all of you at the Somerville Center for this momentous event and occasion. I'd like to especially thank the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Director Roush, and the Office of District Attorney General for the 25th Judicial District, and District Attorney Mark Davidson for their partnership and trust in transferring these important files and historical records to UT Martin. We are honored to assume the stewardship of the historical case files regarding Ms. Pauline Griffin Mullins, a process we approach with care to ensure both transparency for the public and the perseverance of these important records for generations to come. At UTM, we see this as more than a transfer of documents. It is a powerful teaching and research opportunity. Our criminal justice programs offered at the main campus, at our regional centers, and fully online now extend to a new master's program in criminal justice. These files provide our students with an invaluable real case scenario, real case study. For UT Martin, accepting the collection is an act of service, aligning with our mission to engage, educate, and preserve the stories that shape the communities we serve. This case file will support not only criminal justice students, but also scholars in communications, history, sociology, and law. It offers rare access to primary resources that can inspire new research, publications, and conversations around justice and transparency. Our commitment is to serve the public good. By safeguarding and sharing these records, we ensure that an important piece of Tennessee's history remains accessible to all. Once the files have been received, they will be processed as part of our digital archive initiative. This processing step ensures the public will have ultimately high quality, a searchable online database to the records. Because this is a careful and ongoing process, online availability will take a little bit of time. To ensure compliance with the Public Records Act while this digital processing is underway, 2 additional copies, accessible copies, will be available. One, the public may view a printed copy of the files by scheduling an appointment at the UTM McNairy County Selmer Center. And 2, a request may be made to purchase a reproduced copy of the file. In closing, this is about honoring history, serving the public, and creating opportunities for learning. We thank the TBI for entrusting us with this responsibility, and we look forward to making this important record accessible in a careful, transparent, and respectable manner. Thank you.
And with that, this is now the video statement I mentioned earlier from Griffin Mullins. He is the brother of Pauline Mullins Pusser.
Pauline was my oldest sister. She was the leader of our family. She was the most caring, personal person that you would ever want to meet. You would fall in love with her. She was a people person. And of course my family would always go to Pauline if they had an issue or they needed some advice, and she was always there for them. She was just a sweet person, and I loved her with all my heart, and I've missed her horribly this last 57 years. Lord knows I've missed her. I am devastated. It's been a long time since she left, but I always had in my heart, I've had a lot of time to think and to look back at Pauline's life. And she didn't tell me a whole lot. She was just not the type of person to tell you her problems. But I knew deep down there was problems in her marriage. If I only known now what I knew then, she would have never went back to Tennessee. And she would have been right here with me. Perfectly honest with you, I'm not totally shocked. And I would just like to say how happy I am to have TBI and Mark Davidson, the district attorney, in my home today to give me some of the news. I know in my heart that they have poured their life into this investigation. And I just want to tell the people, whoever side they're on this case, accept their findings, which I'm going to do, and finally get myself a closure after these 57 years. Just thank God that I finally got a closure. I lost my other sister, and I'm just sorry that she's not here to learn. So now she's gone home to be with Pauline, and I'm sure they're rejoicing. And for that, helps ease the pain for me. I think I can lay down tonight and have some peace in my mind that I'm very aware of what the TBI has done. I feel very comfortable with it, and this is closure for me and my wife and my 2 daughters. And I'm just thankful that I got the news and not be like my sister and pass before we finally have learned.
And with that, we will be taking questions.
I'm Martin Staunton with Fox 13 News, Memphis. My question's for Mr. Davidson. It's actually 2 real quick. The first is, does the file say that he staged that shooting on the road? Did he have help? And the second was, can you talk about the moment when you looked at that vast file and the realization that a Tennessee law enforcement legend is coming down off that pedestal?
Well, to answer your second question, this is obviously not something you take lightly. The Walking Tall story has been a story that I knew growing up with. I know many of our law enforcement partners maybe even became law enforcement because of that story. But the investigation was important enough to be able to push that aside. It's been a cold case for so many years, and when TBI was able to apply the full scope and breadth of their investigative abilities, they just followed the facts and the evidence where it went. That's where we are today, and it's at the end of the day, you're looking for the truth. So really, no one's above the law. I guess that's one thing you could take away from this. As far as your first question, is the file going to say that he staged it? I gave you some of the evidence. One expert who said that it appeared to be staged. That's probably as close as you're going to get in the file. The file is not going to give you a he did it and this is exactly how it happened summary. It's replete with evidence, statements, analysis from different experts from different fields, many of which I talked about just now. And so the public and everybody will just have to look at the file and, draw your own conclusions. But no, there's not going to be a statement from somebody saying he definitely staged the scene, but there is an expert who says it appears it was staged.
Melanie King, McNary County News. He asked somewhat what I'm going to ask too, is does this show that anyone helped Buford or he acted alone in this? Any idea?
Yeah, I'll attempt to answer that.